Hi, my name's Stephen Ham from Archery Supplies. This is the Elite Omnia. So the Elite Omnia, when I did the review, this cam was touching the string. Okay. Now Elite claim you can get that out through doing the limb tuning and adjusting this. So they've got a manual on, they've got a manual that shows you how to tune this bow. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that in this video. Now, just a bit of backstory. So a customer brought this bow 6 weeks ago. He ordered it online. Now he's a local to the store, okay? But he brought it online. If you live in the city near an archery shop, go to the archery shop. I cannot stress it enough. Yesterday we had a guy who drove 8 hours to get to the shop. He spent 4 hours to 5 hours setting up his bow, shot it all, very happy, set up the draw length. We spent 4 to 5 hours with him setting up the bow. He walks away happy. This customer orders it online, goes home, sets it up himself, and then after 6 weeks is not happy and goes, look, I can't tune it, I want my money back. Now, my response to that would be, bring it in and I'll fix it. But he's like, no. He goes, I've been shooting for 30 years. I know what I'm doing. I want my money back. This bow is rubbish. Okay, so this is the bow that's rubbish. I'm going to see if I can stop the cam from touching the string. Now, I have been shooting for, I don't know how many years. Let's do the maths, 40 years. I've been selling bows for almost as long. I've sold thousands and thousands of bows. When it comes to this bow or any other bow, I've got no idea. Okay, so let's just put this. I have never tuned this bow before. I've never done this cable adjustment. I'm currently getting over a heart attack, so I can't draw it. So someone else is going to shoot this bow to show I can paper tune it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this bow right, but I will almost 99% guarantee that I'll be able to paper tune this and bullet hole it. Almost 100% guarantee it, without even touching it, without doing anything. And I could be wrong. So this could be the video where the customer's right and I am wrong. Now, just on that, the customer comes into the shop this morning at 8 o'clock and I'm not here at 8 o'clock. I'm at home eating eggs, and goes, ring Stephen and get him in here. Now, that's not going to go down well. Think about customer service. Now, you might say, well, you know, Stephen should get in his car and get to work. Leave those eggs that are cooking and just get straight up there. In what business does that occur? Where you go into the doctor without making an appointment, because he hadn't made an appointment, and go, look, I want to see the doctor. I'm not going to pay him. Now, he took everything off the bow, so I couldn't even see this bow not shooting. Okay, I couldn't see what he's done, so I've got to go through the whole lot. So what I've done is I put a whiskey biscuit on, I put a sign on it, and we're going to look at it. Now, the first thing, I'm going to start again. I have not set up one of these bows. When I did the review, I pulled it out, shot it, and I noticed the string was catching the cables, and I said so. Now, so the first thing we look at is the angle on the cam, down the string. Now, you'll see the cams are leaning to an angle. So the cams are leaning to this way, and the bottom cam is leaning slightly to that side, but not as much. Now, with the Elite system, it offers you a massive amount of adjustability in draw length and let off, and with limbs. Now, what the Elite system does is allows you to twist these limbs like that. So literally, you can do anything you want with this bow. And again, I have never done it. I haven't done it on my own Elites. I have never done it. So this is all new to me. I've watched videos where people have done it, but this is all new, so I'm going to do it on the video, and maybe the customer's right, and maybe you can't paper tune this bow. Maybe you can't stop the cable from touching this limb, but let's see how we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the bow back on a draw board, okay? Because I can't physically draw the bow back. So we're going to put it on a draw board, and then we're going to check to see if this string is touching this cam. Now again, that would not make a lot of difference if it's not getting wear here, and there's been many bows, Matthews, PSE, where the strings have touched cams before, and you'll see on Matthews they put a little plastic thing on the side of the cam here to stop the wear. Let's grab Matthews. Now when Matthews had this problem, when this string was touching, and I did a review on it at the time, what they do is they put this little plastic thing on the side here to stop the wear on the cables. And that was all okay, but so strings touching cables, whether it PSE, Matthews, or Elite or Bowtech, is more than common. And often it's designed to do so. So it depends how much it's touching, it depends if you get wear, okay? But Matthews put plastic on there to stop the wear, but let's go back to the Elite. Okay, so I've got the bow on the bow press on the draw board. Now I've wound the bow back, okay? So this bow is a 70-pound bow, which I'm not going to draw, obviously. Normally I would, but because of the heart operation, I can't draw it, so we've got it on a draw board. Now I've wound the bow back to 60 because if the bow was to explode, I don't want it exploding at 70 pounds, okay? So I'm just going to draw it back slowly. And what I'm doing, I'm looking for this cable touching the cams here. And I'm also looking for the angle on the cams.
Oh, wait,
So at stable, they were slightly leaning.
I realise it does something here.
Sorry, I was looking the wrong side. So I'm looking at this side. See here, the cable's the gap. So as I draw this bow back,
It asks for
the string is touching the cam right at the top here. So let's just bring that up. Okay, so this cam is slightly bending over that way at draw. So at rest, it's slightly bending in the same direction. So that's good. So we can straighten this up. Now, I'm going to say again, that when it comes to tuning, there's been many bows in the past that have been built with inbuilt camling, okay? So a lot of people are like, camling's really, really bad. In the past, there's been many bows, especially back in the olden days before they had all this tuning stuff, where cams used to naturally lean and you shoot perfect scores with it. And I'm going to pick Eric Griggs from Gas Bowstrings. Going back when he was, or if he still is, a pro shooter, and back when he used to shoot the big scores, and I'm not having a go at him now, but back when he was a pro shooter for PSE, cams used to lean, he couldn't even paper tune the thing, but he'd win major shoots, because he both shoots the same every time. But this is touching, so what we're going to do is we're going to try moving the set system to get it all in line, and then hopefully this cam will track. I'm not going to do the bottom, I'm only going to do the top, okay? We'll worry about the bottom one later, so because the top one's the major one that we're going to look at. I'm going to say again, I've never done this before. Okay, so this is a locking screw and this is the adjustment. Now I don't really know which way I'm adjusting it, so we're just going to go one way and then we'll go the other. So on the side here, you've got the adjustment. This bolt here is fairly tight, so we're just going to move it one way and then the other. Now when I adjust it, I'm going to put an arrow down to see where the alignment is, so I can see how it's sort of tracking. I mean, if that is not the most amazing invention, now I feel like PSE almost invented this technology, and PSE would probably say they did, when the Dominator, because they had a very similar technology but it didn't really work. This, you move this a smidge and this just moves out like that, and it's like just lined up just like that, and it's like perfect. So it's like so It's so simple. It's just like, why didn't someone think of this before? Now, with other bows, you have other options like shimming the cams left to right. And it's literally the most minute Allen key, the most minute shim thinness that you have to move to get this exactly right. So we're going to just lock that in place. Now, when you do up bolts, don't overdo them because you strip them out, not a warranty. I'm going to sort of say that because if you have someone else work on your bow and they stuff it, they're responsible. But you bugger it yourself, you're responsible. Okay? So if ever you got questions about stuff, send it back to the shop because why do you want to break stuff? Okay? So that looks pretty good to me. Now let's try the draw board again and let's see if this string doesn't touch. Again, I have not tested this bow for paper tuning yet. All I want to do is get this cable just a little bit away from this cam. Now the first thing when I start, the cam looks perfectly aligned. I'm at the same point and the string is not touching the cam. Now I'm going to say the bottom one is touching, but not the top. So the bottom one I'm going to make a slight adjustment too, but the top one is perfect as far as I'm concerned. It's literally missing by more than a paper thickness. So when the Matthews draws back, you literally can't fit paper in there. With this I could fit probably 6-7 bits of paper in there. Now, I've hit the peak point. And you can see the cam's clearing the cam by probably that much. So that means I can go either way, left or right, at this stage for tuning. So whichever way my arrow is kicking, I've got tuning adjustment. The bottom cam is still touching, so I'm going to make that adjustment because it's so easy. Love the system. Again, I haven't paper tuned the bow yet, so I don't know. It's just getting the clearance. Like people go, oh, I can't get the clearance. You turn that Allen key just a little bit and it's like, woof, there you are, perfect. Oh, how good is it? Now, the bottom cam, the string is not touching a little bit, add a little bit more. And the top cam looks perfect. Like it looks absolutely in a line. I'm back here, it's pretty much at maximum draw length. It looks perfect. So I haven't adjusted the cables, just a smidge on the thing. And I'm feeling really, really confident with this bow. So I go from this point where the guy is like, oh, this bow's shit, to I'm feeling really, really confident. Really, really confident. And how long is it taking me? Like, I started this video, never done this before, and in 2 minutes, we're almost there. Now, I started this video about a guy who came from Victoria yesterday. Now, John, I'm going to say John or Ian, or sorry, I forget his name, came in yesterday, drove off, his name's Ian, drove all the way from Victoria, 8 hours to come and see us yesterday. We spent 4 hours setting up his bow. We didn't do any of this stuff with his bow. Like, we just shot the bow and it shot straight. Do this stuff later. Now again with the bottom, it wasn't as bad as the top, but it was just touching. We want to get that just a little bit away. So again, I put the arrow here, and it's pretty good. Like a normal bow, you'd be happy, you wouldn't even be bothered to shim. But with the Elite system, like, you can just make it perfect. And again, this model fall in a heap. May all fall in a heap. Now the bottom one, I moved 1/8 of a turn. 1/8 of a turn. Like the Allen key, just a smidge. And you can see the alignment now on the string. I'm going to move that up there. Oh, it's touching the straw stop there. But it looks perfect. from behind. And this is the thing, when these bows are designed in the factory, yes, they should come out being perfect and they're timed and all that sort of stuff, but we're talking the most minute level of adjustment. The most minute. Like the bottom was an eighth of a turn and the top was half a turn. And when they build bows in a factory, I haven't been to the Elite factory, I've been to the PSE factory. When they build bows, one lady in the PSE factory builds 200 bows a day. Then one person, so she assembles them, one person checks the timing, one person checks the poundage, and then it goes in a box, right? So they've basically checked the timing, they've checked that, but it's pretty quick. Like there's one person who's checking the timing, fixing the timing, there's one guy who checks the poundage, goes in the box. This is mass production. And you might say, well, they should spend more time. Well, maybe they should. Maybe you can have that argument about, well, they should charge an extra $50 for their bows, and maybe they already have. But it's so simple. It's so simple. And now one of the reasons why this is going to be hard to do is at a given draw length and a given poundage, the limbs and the cams are going to be different because they're going to pull differently at a given poundage. So this, I'm going to argue, is going to be different for every given draw length and every given poundage by a little bit. So we've set this and we're going to check it now on the draw board and see how it is. Now when you adjust the bottom, check the top as well, because one may change the other. I don't think it will, but let's just check it. So from behind, before I start, the cams look perfect. Top and bottom look perfect. It's not touching at the bottom, and it's not touching the top, so I'm winning. The bottom's like really close, but it's clear. And the top's clear. Now the bottom is really close. I'm going to guess about 2 paper thicknesses away from the cam. And the top is probably about 6 paper thicknesses away. So like it's pretty good. The cam looks perfect at the bottom, looks perfect at the top. Look, at full draw, the cam is not touching at the bottom and not touching at the top. So I'm pretty comfortable that these cams are now good. So I'm going to lock it all in place and we're going to paper tune it. So we're going to go down there and shoot an arrow and we're going to see how it tunes. Now when you paper tune, everyone's different. And when I say everyone's different, it depends on how you grip the bow and how you shoot, how much face contact you've got. So for you versus me, the bow may paper tune perfectly for me, but may not paper tune for you, okay? Because it might be the way you shoot. So normally when I paper tune, I'd like to paper tune for myself, but I can't shoot. So at the moment, we're going to grab Joel and he's going to shoot through paper and we're going to see how it works. So fingers crossed, let's see how it goes. Okay, this is Joel. Joel works at Archery Supplies and he's won a fair few tournaments and stuff and he's done stuff and he's been working for a number of years. I can't shoot the bow, so he's going to shoot the bow. So all we've done is done the limbs. This is the first shot. So we haven't shot through paper. This is it. And when we do this, like some people will do pre-edits and it'll tear and then they fix it up, right? This is off the bat, right? So we have no idea what's going to happen.
So no pressure at all.
So if it rips like buggery, it could be Joel shooting because he hasn't shot this bow before. Or it could be the bow, right? So it could be either be the archer or it could be the bow. So what we're going to do is we're going to shoot a shot and see how it goes. So let's go.
All right. Most watched shot I've ever taken.
Okay, so let's have a look at the tear. So that's the tear there. It is so good, like it's that big. That big. Let's just zoom up. Okay, so just on this. So that first tear is pretty good, right? I'm pretty happy with that. And with the Elite system, you could just like smidge it. Like, I am so impressed. Like, I cannot tell you how impressed I am with this system. You might say, well, it's because, you know, you're doing stuff with Elite. With a normal bow like a PSE, and I'm not picking on PSE, or a Matthews or a Hoyt, it's literally hours of work. To shim the bow, you've got to pull apart the bow, move the washers from one side to the other. It's like, ugh. Bowtech have a different system where you can like screw the things. But this, like, a little tweak on this, and it's amazing. Like, that's the first shot, and it's like that. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. Now, we sold one of these bows to an archer called Daryl Bolger. Daryl is an award-winning archer in Australia who's shot many game trophies, and he wins lots of stuff up in Queensland. I'm going to say my dad's been selling to him for probably 40 years. He brought the carbon version of this, and the strings were touching him, and I'm in hospital, and he's like, look, strings are touching, what do I do about this? He contacted Elite. Anyway, the other day he posted a picture of a perfect bullet hole. He shot a 3D round with it and said, this is the best bow ever. And I was like, well, did you get it to work? And he's like, look, he just adjusted this and it was really easy. And to me, this is it. So let's shoot another one, see if it shoots the same hole. But to me, this is like perfect. I am so confident with this bow. Let's go behind. Yep.
Yeah, pretty well the same. A little bit better.
So with the Elite system, a touch of a turn will get that out. Like, it's that much. It could be arrow spine as well. It could be shooter. But that much, I would just give it a tweak. The top cam is a little bit further than the bottom cam. But it says on the Elite system here which way to turn it. And it's that tail left.
Yeah.
If I could read. Tail left, it says turn it that way.
Yeah, clockwise.
So clockwise for tail left. And I would do the top cam because it's a little bit more, and then sort of see how that works. But incredible system.
I wouldn't touch it with that tear. I'd shoot it like that.
And this is the thing. So if you shoot a bow and the arrow's coming out, it's dead perfect. The arrow's dead straight. A lot of professionals recommend coming out with a slight tear because the arrow's coming out with directions. So whether it's slightly high, professionals would prefer it to be slightly higher than spot on, but like that, it's pretty good. And Joel hasn't shot compound for months, so that's his first time shooting this bow. I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies.
I'm Joel Cinderelli. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Bye.